Hello, my name is Andrew Kraft. I am from IRG, Physical and Hand Therapy, here to talk about your work from home setup and ergonomics in general at your home office. A little bit about today. We're going to talk about some basic office concepts, some general recommended modifications that you can do to your home office, and then we'll finish up with some useful exercises and stretches. Everything that we have in here will be links to a video. We'll have this available for you so you can take a look at those. And then some general information at the end if you want to follow up or get anything in more detail. So again, we're going to start out with some general office concepts. You want your home office to be located somewhere that is calm, somewhere that is organized. So I generally suggest a room where you can close the door, make sure that you don't have any interruptions throughout the day. You want a little bit of office or desk space so you can spread out your keyboard, your monitors, your mouse, and any paperwork that you have to look at through the day. You want to make sure that you have adequate lighting and background just in case you have to do any video conferencing or Zoom calls throughout the day. With those in mind, you want to make sure that you don't have anything in the background that's going to be distracting. No kids, no pets running through the screen. You just want it to be nice and neutral. Again, we have like a nice neutral screen behind me, so there's nothing to distract you from your meeting. As far as the general layout of your office goes, you want to make sure that, again, the position of your chair and desk are in a comfortable position. You want space, again, for your mouse, your computer, your keyboard. If you have a phone that you have to access, make sure it's within arm's reach. You don't have to be leaning over to grab it every now and then. As far as the position of your desk relative to windows, doors, external distractions, you want to make sure that no one's going to open the door into you. I'll talk about windows a little bit further down the PowerPoint presentation. And then as far as how your general workflow goes, you want to understand your strengths and your weaknesses when it comes to productivity. What that generally means is if you're someone who always has the TV on in the background, maybe that's okay, but for some people that might be really distracting. So you want to make sure that's turned off. I sometimes listen to music while I'm working at home, and as long as it's on a low volume, it's not too distracting to me. Some nice classical music helps me actually work a little bit better. So just something to keep in mind as, not only are you aware of your physical surroundings, but, stuff like sound and light as well. So now some general recommended modifications you can make to your desk at home. Number one, we want to make sure that you have good posture. Whether you're seated or whether you're standing, you want to make sure that you have, the least amount of strain on your muscles, your ligaments, and your bones. We all generally know what it means to sit with good posture, sit up straight. We want your feet to be rested flat on the ground or a footrest to a point where it's comfortable, and we don't want your knees to be above your hips. We want everything to be at about 90-degree angles. What I always tell everyone to sit all the way back in your chair. That way you have some support on your back and you're not slouching. As far as your wrists and your elbows, you want them to be in a neutral position where you can rest them on the table or the desk in front of you. If you have a palm rest, make sure your palms are resting on that, not your palms, not your wrists. That can cause other issues as well. And you want to make sure everything's in a nice straight line. It's also important to change positions often throughout the day. Make sure you keep your body activated and engaged. Otherwise, you're going to get a little stiff and we can have issues down the line. Again, continuing on posture, if you're seated, like I said, feet flat on the floor. A general desk height is around 28 to 30 inches. In here we say for someone 6 foot. That's just for generally most desks. Most desks are set at that height for a good reason. It allows us to put our elbows and wrists in a nice neutral position. You want to make sure that your monitor is in level with your eyes, maybe just slightly down. I'm on a laptop right now, and it's nice and comfortable for me to look at here. I don't have to crank my neck down, or I don't have to look up at the screen. It's just nice and neutral. And then if you're standing, you want to make sure it's comfortable at a general height of 40 to 42 inches, but keep in mind the same rules. You want your elbows to be in a neutral position, 90 degrees, and your wrists nice and straight. And again, with the monitor, you want that at eye level. So if you're standing, that might be a little bit higher up. As far as any other furniture, we are now talking about your monitor. So again, make sure it's nice eye level. We don't want any awkward neck positions. Again, like I was saying down here, if you're looking down or up. If you have multiple monitors, make sure the monitor that you use most of the time is directly in front of you. If you do have the split monitor usage, you can shift them a little bit so that your main monitor is just off skew, but generally keep it right in front of you, and that'll help reduce any neck strain from repeatedly moving back and forth. You want to reduce glare. Again, I said we would come back to windows. You want to put your monitor perpendicular to a window. That will reduce the most amount of glare. You don't want to be set up so that you're looking straight out the window as much as a nice view you might have from wherever you are at home. It really can cut down on the light coming directly at you if you're looking at the window, or any glare on your screen if the window is right behind you. Keep in mind, you might want to enlarge your font to make it easier to read. If you are spending a lot of time at the computer, you can consider some reading glasses or some blue light glasses to help that eye strain as well. I touched on the keyboard and mouse a little bit earlier. You want to make sure they're, again, within reach. The keyboard's at a nice neutral position that keeps your wrists straight. You don't want to be straining to reach for that keyboard. Your mouse just off to the right or left of it if you're left-handed. But most important there is keep your wrists nice and straight, and have your keyboard shortcuts set up. That way you don't have to type nearly as much. It makes everything go a lot faster. Coming back to the chair, again, sit back in your chair as far as possible. That will give you some nice support on your back. That way you don't slouch throughout the day. And I'll keep coming back to this. It's really important, keeping your feet nice and flat on the floor. We want your elbow, or your knees and your ankles to be at about 90 degrees. And make sure you position yourself so that it's comfortable. And then you can adjust yourself throughout the day to stay engaged. I also tell everyone to take a couple of rests throughout the break, or take a couple of rests throughout the day to give yourself a break, and maybe perform a couple stretches, a couple exercises. If you are on the go and you have to be working either on a laptop or a tablet, all the same general rules apply. You want to make sure you're sitting up straight, looking about eye level with your monitor. You can angle the screen on your laptop to make it a little bit more comfortable for your neck. If you're on a tablet, think about possibly getting a keyboard attachment rather than typing directly on the tablet. That can cause some wrist strain. And if you have a keyboard, just make sure that you can prop it up that way. Now we're going to talk about some useful exercises and stretches. Again, I say to take a 5 to 10 minute break a few times a day, maybe twice in the morning, once or twice in the afternoon, just to get up, get some blood flowing, get some blood flowing to those extremities because you've been sitting all day. This first one, generally pretty easy. You can do this while seated. Your arms just kind of come out, and you can't see my hand. Yeah, I'll turn a little bit so it's nice and flat there. Coming up and out, and then you can tilt your head towards that side, and even try the other side. It's nice neural floss here. Your nerves get tight as well as your muscles in your pelvis. And again, As you'll notice, there's a little video link. We'll have those available for you if you want some more detailed instruction on these. I'm just going to go through them relatively quick. Again, another one you can do either seated or standing, just neck circles. So calmly just twist your neck down. And we've all done this before. Just stretch out those neck muscles. Go, maybe 10 times one direction, then switch. This one you don't even have to take a whole lot of time to do, and it feels great. Yet another one we can do while seated or standing is an upper trapezius stretch, your upper trap. So this guy right here, we're going to put your hand on your head, up nice and straight, and just let it pull to the side. I usually say, just let the weight of your hand and your arm pull on your neck. You don't want to really pull. We don't want to be causing any pain. We just want a nice stretch here. And any stretches, I say to hold for about 30 seconds. Relax, repeat 2 or 3 times. And then we can also do them on the other side. We want everything to be nice and equal. There we go. Continuing with the upper body, we're typing a lot throughout the day. Finger tendon glides. I'm going to extend my arm here. The picture shows this exercise seated, but we're going to just grab those fingers and pull them back. Turn to a neutral position. And we're going to go the other way. I'm pulling on these knuckles here, keeping my fingers nice and straight, really getting those tendons nice and stretched out. And again, something that we can repeat on both hands. These next few can be a little bit more involved. We have, these are called D1 and D2 P&F patterns. You can see from the picture, the whole arm is coming across the body and rotating and then coming back down. Almost think of a functional softball pitch. Easy way to remember this. And then the other way, we're coming and rotating the opposite direction. Easy way to remember this is someone drawing a sword. And nothing here has to go very fast. We're just getting a little bit of motion. Again, a little bit of blood flowing. You'll feel much better after doing a few of these throughout the day. I'm not going to demonstrate this one just because of my room constraints here, but this is really simple where you can lay on your back. You can try this on your bed, but I would really suggest on a hard surface, so really on the floor if you have it, but whatever's most comfortable for you. You're going to lay down with your knees bent, and then you're going to drop one down to the side, and then slowly bring it up. You want to make sure you keep your core nice and tight. That'll help loosen everything up, feel a little bit better. This hip flexor stretch, again, really easy to perform. You can do this like in this picture where you put your foot up on a chair and lunge forward, keeping your whole back nice and straight. Really, the motion's coming from your hips moving forward. You can also do this just on the ground. You don't have to have your front leg elevated. And again, hold for 10 up to 30 seconds and then switch to the other leg. So this IT band stretch here, you're going to cross one leg over the other, bring that arm up, stretch all the way over. You should feel it running all the way down your side, all the way down your leg. Really great stretch, especially if you've been seated for a long time. I really recommend this to everyone that's been sitting for 6 to 8 hours a day. I think this is our last exercise here. It's a general squat. This one's a little bit different in that we have a squat matrix where you're just moving where your foot placement is. We've got 7 different feet placements. I would say, go through 2 or 3 at each spot. And this will really get the blood moving. You'll feel a little bit better. You know, you might even work up a sweat if you get to this point in your day. Oh, I was wrong. There's one more. Very simple heel raises or calf raises where you just come up on your toes, you hold it for a couple of seconds, and then this is important, slowly come back down to your heels. Imagine this is your foot, you're gonna come up and then slowly back down. Now, just general information. We have in-person or online ergonomics setup services where we can help you get a much better ergonomic work from home setup. We can give you even more tips on how to set up your computer or your desk, and we can get you more in-depth home and work exercise and stretching programs. We can provide virtual check-ins down the road to see how these tips and tricks are working for you, and we can modify those as needed. We also have some newsletters that we're working on with tips that you can take a look at for continuing to have a safe and healthy workplace in the office, but also at home. If you'd like some more information, feel free to contact myself at andrew.craft@irgpt.com. And feel free to follow IRG on our social media accounts. They're listed right here on the left side of the screen. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope this helps you get your work at home set up a little bit more comfortable. Thank you.